talking about multi-factor authentication for the Merit Labs. So we first log in as the Ubuntu. We first log into the Ubuntu server and we change the server to and we change the user to the webmaster user. And then we do this command on the top line, and this will let us edit the SSH configuration file using the built-in Nano editor. And then, as you can see, this is the Nano editor, and we had to this is the Nano editor right here, and we had to find these lines over here in this picture. The last line in this picture, KBD, this one, we had to change no to yes right here. And in the second picture, we had to add at the bottom here this white line right here. Then we press Control X to save the changes, then pressed Y when I was asked if we wanted to keep the same file name. And then I was exited out of the Nano editor. Now we restart the SSH service, and this is because we want the changes that were made to the configuration of the SSH daemon to take effect using that command in the top line right there. Then we opened a new PuTTY terminal and kept the one we were working on open so we don't get locked out, because we don't actually have a password yet. So the one that was still open, we could just stay in that without password because it was already open. Then we opened this new PuTTY terminal so we can test these changes, and as you can see in the picture, it asks for a password, which means what we've done so far is working. This basically adds an extra layer of user authentication security, but we still have to set up the other use of authentication, which is using Google Authenticator to get a code to have us log into the server. This basically adds more security. Now in the open server that we were working on already, we have to make sure the Ubuntu server is up to date. So we just typed in the simple command sudo apt-get update. Then we installed Google's PAM module using that command right there, and this is the output that it gave. Then we had to run the Google Authentication initialization application using that command right there, and then it gave us some questions and a QR code to scan on our Google Authenticator app on our mobile phone, and then we entered the code that was provided on our phone right over there where I'm pointing at. This basically, then that was the code we needed. Then we had to answer the questions that it asked us. So for the first question on this image right there, that question on the last line, we said yes because we wanted to stick to time-based tokens, because that's what apps like Google Authenticator anticipate. The second question, so the first in this image at the top line right there, we said yes to that because we want to obviously update the file so we can have the latest version of the file. Then the third question was answered yes because we want to continue the configuration of the Google Authenticator applications running on the AWS Ubuntu server. We answered no to the fourth question because we want to cap the limit to 3 valid codes in a 1:30 rolling window. This makes the server more secure. And lastly, this last question right there, we answered yes because it enforces a rate limit. This basically means it's very good for security. Then we typed in this command right there. This makes a backup of the SSHD file. Then we went into the Nano editor and added these 2 lines at the bottom of the picture. Right there. Then after doing this, we pressed Control X, then Y when asked to save, then Enter to accept the name of the file. Then these next three pictures, we had to go into the nano editor again, and we had to double check this second picture right here. They said yes, and it had already said yes from the previous steps that we already have done that. And then this last picture, it was already saved without the password public key part, so we had to add the password public key part for this. This basically tells us the SSH, which which authentication methods are required. For us, users need an SSH key, a password, and a verification code from the Google Authenticator app from our mobile phones. Then we pressed Ctrl X, Y, and Enter to save the changes and accept the name of the file. We exited the nano editor. Then we reloaded the SSH daemon as we have made changes to the file configuration of it. And now we need those changes to take effect. Then we logged into a new terminal, and as you can see, everything's working. All the changes took effect. We had to put in a password, which was the password we made for the user, and we also needed the verification code from Google Authenticator. Yeah, that basically means we have successfully implemented MFA into our AWS Ubuntu server.